I listened to all of HRTX yesterday and was just thinking through how to make this session kind of more dynamic and live based on what we heard yesterday. So really what I'm going to look at is how do you take all this wisdom that you learned yesterday and this morning and kind of take it to the next level with the capabilities in Seekout. Really quickly, I got a couple slides and I'll do demo, but the things I heard yesterday and this morning were really about, how do you map out the talent and know who is where? How do you find people who can't be found in other places? How do you get diverse candidates into the pipeline? There's a lot of talk about buzzwords and, 3-letter acronyms and all the kind of, deep niche expertise that recruiters need to pick up based on JDs, and how do you decipher those? There was a big thing about cleared sourcing yesterday, and you've learned a lot of stuff about just great Boolean techniques, but kind of how do you apply those? And so Seekout really delivers on these kind of themes. When you think about the way that what we've built this talent pool that brings in data about candidates from all kinds of places. So not just what they say on their profile, but what they've done on GitHub, the patents they have, the papers they've written, the information they have on social links. And we make all of that searchable through this AI search engine that allows you to do lots of different cool searches and then engage with those candidates with the leading contact info in the industry. It's not just that we say we're great. We actually have been recognized by Gartner and IDC and G2 for some of our leading stuff, but obviously the kind of proof is in the pudding. So let's jump over to a demo. This is Seekout, the dashboard. You just saw quite a bit of it, but looking at the presentations yesterday, there was this role about digital signal processing engineer, which is tricky because again, there's a lot of buzzwords with that. It's hard to even know what that role means if it's a foreign or new concept to you. So with Seekout, you can just jump in and get started right away with that. Just, you can enter in here, say, digital signal processing. And obviously that's going to bring back people who match those keywords. But you may still feel like, I still don't really know what this is. Well, Seekout will bring back tags for each kind of keyword, and you can just click on, or for each candidate to show what their skills are. If you don't know what some of those mean, you can just click on that and you'll get a definition. So here you can learn that digital signal processing is about bringing in signals, having them processed on chip, and then exporting that information in a usable format for some kind of computer system. So that kind of learning is really easy with Seekout. But even better, when you put in a phrase like digital signal processing, a search for that is going to be better if it's not just keyword based. And we have these power filters that we build up that are able to get at complex or frequently used searches with just one click. And so we're suggesting here, hey, use this radar or signal processing engineer search instead of this string. So I can do that instead of having any of this search in there. And now I'm going to get to candidates that have titles that are more appropriate for the kind of search I'm doing right here. So this is 123,000 candidates. It's great to be able to go through these individually, but at this point, you probably want to zoom out and say, what do I know about this pool that I'm searching for right now? And with any search in Seekout, you can click on People Insights and get the aggregate bird's eye view of these candidates. These are these digital signal processing engineers. You can see where they live, what kind of companies they're at, all the information about everything from diversity to years of experience. And you can use this as a search too. Say, you want to target Qualcomm employees. You could just click on this. This is now going to show you the 1,900 Qualcomm employees who match this search. And you can jump back to see the individual candidates. And now you'll see all these engineers with digital signal processing experience who are at Qualcomm. And then again, we talked about diversity quite a bit. There are lots of strategies that people talk about using names or using schools or sororities or things like that to figure out diverse candidates. But really, one of the best ways to do it is to use a tool like Seekout that has analyzed all profiles and assigned diversity classification to everyone. So when you get this list, if you want to find, for instance, all the Black or African American digital signal processing engineers at Qualcomm, you can just click one click and you get down to that list there. And to reduce either your unconscious bias or the bias that maybe a hiring manager might have, you can just turn on blind hiring mode. And you're gonna get rid of all the easily identifiable information that shows race or gender, and just allow people to focus on the core skills of those candidates. So that's one take on something I saw yesterday. Another one that came up yesterday was around, oh, let me go back actually and show you one other key part about that. So I've been searching in public profiles here for this digital signal processing engineer. But one of the key advantages of Seekout is that we have indexed and mined and understood all of the open source code development that people do on GitHub. And so you can do the same kind of search on GitHub. So if I say digital signal processing, and then I can make this kind of search as easily as I can do on LinkedIn, but these people don't typically have rich LinkedIn profiles. They're really not searchable, but because we've indexed what they've done and what projects they've worked on, you can say, hey, I want a really strong coder, so maybe a 4 or 5-star coder score. This is a score that we assign to them based on their real contributions. I want them to know Python, for instance, and maybe I'm looking in Seattle where we're based. And you'll see these folks coming back. You not only see the information about them if they have anything from LinkedIn, but you see the core work that they've done in GitHub, and you can share this information with a hiring manager. If you click into this, your hiring manager can actually view the code contributions that this candidate has made on GitHub. You can look at their code before you ever get to a whiteboard interview, before you ever do a phone screen. It's just super efficient. So that's the second thing. I'm going to skip ahead just in the interest of time to talk about, one of the things that people have been talking about is automation and using tools for automation. Eric yesterday talked about using really advanced Boolean syntax to kind of get relevance and sorting done really well. And Seekout has that kind of baked in. If you take a job description like this one, this is Thermo Fisher, I pulled this off the internet because it had lots of buzzwords. You can jump into Seekout's AI matching. I just created this AI matching project. We already know what a technical application specialist looks like at Thermo Fisher because we know what kind of people are in that role today. I've pasted it in the job description, and we've parsed out the fields from that job description. And I'll say, the things that are really important here maybe are life sciences and data analysis. And we also want them to know all these kind of buzzwords: qPCR, real-time PCR, sample preparation, chemistry, genetic analysis. And we want them to have 3 years of experience. You can do that, run the search, and Seekout's going to build Boolean for you. It's going to analyze the results, and it's going to show you the best fit candidates and allow you to give thumbs up or thumbs down on those. So you can say, this candidate looks good. We want to accept him. This one, maybe we've had a bad experience with that company, or they do kind of different stuff, so we'll rule them out because of this company. Other ones look good. And once we've given some feedback there, we can just tell the AI matching system to go get more matches. Let's get 25 more. I don't even need to review them. I'm pretty confident in the results. And those will get added to this project automatically, and we'll be able to dig into that without ever having to create a Boolean string or kind of get deep into the weeds on that. These are the candidates who've come back. The third example from yesterday was really interesting to me. It was the role about cleared multilingual candidates. So they needed to have top secret clearance and language proficiency in one of those languages. So this is a real challenge, and Seekout really excels for cleared candidates. Just like we've analyzed every profile for diversity, we've also analyzed every profile and every job for requirements around secret clearance or any kind of clearance. So you can go in here and say, I'm looking for anybody with TS, SCI, or higher. This is going to narrow down those candidates, but I also want to find people who have experience with that defense language proficiency. So I'm going to put in a search for that. So I'll put in a Boolean for DLP or defense language proficiency. You've got 1,700 candidates who have that on their background. Some of these list TSSCI as part of their profile, but a lot of these people don't, right? If you're a cleared candidate, you probably didn't get there by blabbing a lot about the different levels of clearance that you have. So if we build up this search even more, because we want to have the languages that were specified yesterday. so Chinese or Arabic or Farsi or Dari, you'll get these folks back, and you'll see that some of them have this little icon here. This means that Alan, in this case, doesn't list that he has top secret with CI Poly on his profile, but he's in a role right now where the job description requires TS SCI or TS with CI Poly. And so we can infer that because he's in that role where the job description required it, he must have that as well. So this is just a way to get to cleared candidates really easily that are hidden with any other tool. And then the third thing I want to show from yesterday, there was a challenge about finding a solution architect in Ottawa. So we had this, I'll switch over to Ottawa here, and we had, gotta remember his name. So let's assume that we have a hiring manager that says, you know, this is my ideal candidate, this Colin Bates, he's just amazing. I need to find more of those. Well, with Seekout, that's super easy. You can just go here and say clone the candidate. We're gonna create a project based on the attributes of this candidate, Colin, and we're gonna find people who are similar. This is just like our other AI matching features where you can say accept, reject to help tune the results. But even better, you know, if you said, well, great, he's in Ottawa, we're bringing back all these people who are in Ontario, but what I really wanna do is switch it up. I wanna find people like him who are maybe in Toronto. I'm going to take all the attributes of that clone candidate, but apply them to candidates in Toronto. You can do the same thing with any attribute. If you said, hey, I need somebody with a PhD, I need somebody who has a little bit different background. With Seekout, you can combine that AI piece of Seekout with your own skills and techniques that you've learned at places like HRTX. So that's really quick run through. I think I'm almost at the end of my time. I do want to just say, if you want to see how Seekout can help you, please sign up at seekout.io/HRTX. We'd love to show you a demo. We'd love to get you the t-shirt. And if you have any questions, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, we do have a couple of questions, and I like that you have the back of that shirt. We have to get the back of the shirt put up because I love the back too. All right, the Seekout database, is it more I guess what regions is the Seekout database more prominent for? And does that have data for the India market as well?
Yeah, definitely has data for India. We have coverage of all professionals worldwide. You know, anybody who has a public LinkedIn profile, we would have them, and then we augment with additional information. We also have everyone who's contributed to any open source projects on GitHub, and we've analyzed them for their expertise in all languages and topics. And then we have anyone who has a patent or has published papers or research or presented at an academic conference. That's 80 million people worldwide across all kinds of science, engineering, economics kinds of fields.
Okay.
Definitely worldwide.
Does blind search take out the actual photos or give everyone a cat photo?
It gives everyone by default a cat photo, but if you don't like cats, you can change it to whatever photo you want.
Okay, and then let's go with two more. Can you talk a little bit about the global side of recruiting with Seekout as well as GDPR?
Yeah, so we're GDPR compliant. We have lots of global and international firms who are customers. You know, depending on the data, we are, this gets kind of into the weeds, but we are a data processor with some data, and we are a data controller with some people. You can access with some data. You can access the information about GDPR at seekout.io/GDPR. But we'd love to work with your enterprise on that. We're very compliant with that. Obviously, those requirements kind of change all the time, but both GDPR and CCPA, we're fully compliant.
Okay, and we're getting a bunch of questions now, so let's go two more. But then what we'll do is we'll gather some of those up for later.
Absolutely.
Are you able to know? Are you able to now show salary, and where is that information coming from?
Yeah, we do have salary data. We do it in two ways. So we have salary data that's based on the US visa database. The challenge with salary data, obviously, is that it's kind of, if it's self-reported, it can be kind of low quality. But what we use is the visa database, which is, you know, valid by penalty of a felony. So if you said, you know, we want to have, just show a quick engineer search here. You know, so if I do a search for, when my Wi-Fi comes back. You know, we'll show salary data here. We don't have coverage for everybody, but even if we don't have coverage, we'll provide links to other sources that would have it for those kind of roles.
Got it. Okay. And then let's do one more. Would the diversity filters and digital proficiency levels work for candidates outside of the US and Canada, for example, Latin America?
Yeah, we have different diversity filters outside of the US. So in Latin America, we have female diversity filter. I don't actually, I can tell you. Basically, we have the ones that are appropriate for the country. So if you said, you know, if we want to look in Mexico, for instance, our diversity filters will be female, Black, and Asian for Mexico.
Sorry about that. I was on mute.
Oh, I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, this is good. No, hey, thank you so much for jumping in here, doing this demo. You guys are always a fan favorite for sure. Oh my God, the popularity that you guys have picked up over the last couple of years have been insane. The last year or so has been insane. But we got to see a lot of it with Batman, a lot with you, so that's good. And I like how you actually took positions from yesterday and showed it today. So that's awesome. Guys, make sure you go to that website. You'll also get a link. So if you don't get it now, totally fine. We will make sure that everybody gets the link to register for the t-shirt.
Thanks so much,
that,
Ryan.
yeah, for sure. Hey, John, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you next time.